Screen episode number 12. My name is KadexGaming, Twitch stream dedicated helping you in game and in life. Right on top left, you have the waving emoji, Angry Iceberg. On top right, you have the Canadian cue ball, Monsterousrage. Holy crap! Hold on. 12. Sorry about that. Yeah, my audio just went woo. Okay. Up on top right, you do have the Canadian cue ball, Monsterousrage, and our special guest of the week, returning from the Puerto Rican vacation. You know him as Guardian Outpost. We all know him as the guy who plays Destiny a lot. So,
I'm that guy. That's me right there.
But he is in charge of the hashtag Support Smaller Streams. He does support smaller streams all the time, every day that he is on Twitch. Really great for the community, so we are very honored and pleased to have him on the show. So we are just going to go ahead and jump into topic number one. We were going to talk about this last week. We didn't quite get to it, but here we are. And it's Tuesday. It's a new week. And it's a new podcast. So the topic I want to bring up is the advantages and disadvantages of owning more than one console or streaming from more than one platform, whether it's PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Sega Genesis if you're a magician. And I just want to know, how you guys feel about some of the advantages of having multiple consoles and possibly exposing yourself to a broader audience, but possibly some of the disadvantages that could come with that. We'll start with Angry Iceberg.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. Like for me, I only play one game, and the community is really split between two different consoles. So you want to be able to track, both audiences, or at least be able to interact with both audiences. And that's why, for me, it's super important to be able to play on both consoles, because I've found that a large portion, like I started mainly streaming on the Xbox, and that's kind of where I played most of my Destiny from day one. But what I started to learn was that a lot of my audience was on the PlayStation 4 side. And PlayStation 4 does have a larger audience, and especially over in like places like Europe, where there are a lot of Twitch viewers in Europe. So it was really just kind of a matter of wanting to, again, provide entertainment and interaction with all of my audience instead of just part of my audience, because not only do I want to be able to interact with that portion of the audience, but also as a streamer and as somebody who has goals on the Twitch platform, I want to grow my stream, and one of those ways is to be able to play on both consoles. So that's kind of your advantage side. Now your disadvantage, obviously, is you do have to split that time. You have to figure out, okay, when is it the right time to be able to split, to actually play on this console or that console. Like for me right now, I have a 4-day Xbox, 3-day PS4 split, and it's scheduled out. People know when I'm going to be on which system, so they know when to expect it. But like today, I was helping out my friend Noir Raven level up her character on the PS4. So normally I'd be playing on the Xbox on Monday, but today I was playing part of it on the PS4. So it's just really that scheduling and being able to get everything you want done on both consoles. But lucky for me, I put in more than, between 40 and 50 hours per week, playing Destiny on Twitch. So it, just kind of works out that way. But yeah, I mean, I think that advantages definitely outweigh the disadvantages. And I love playing Destiny, so it just means more Destiny for me.
Yeah. All right, Monsterousrage?
As a variety streamer, having all the consoles is necessary because people are coming in expecting that you're going to be playing the new game that's coming out. It doesn't matter what console it's on, just as long as you have the console to play it. Especially when it comes around the exclusive games. Not owning those consoles is crucial, because when it comes out, you don't have it, you're crap out of luck. But the other advantage to it is, with a variety broadcaster, I can draw in those crowds from those different consoles, and they know that I have their console, and anytime I'm playing on it, there's a good chance they can jump into a game and play with me. But I don't need to schedule time around each console. It's a lot easier for me to just jump around even within a broadcast between different games. So for me, it's a must, because it gives me that ability to do those 4-hour chunks and keep people interested in the game that we're playing. The downside to it, obviously, cost is one thing. There's a lot of money invested in owning all the consoles. Not to mention, when you do variety, they're expecting all the new games, and when they're going at about $90 a pop right now, it starts hitting that wallet pretty quickly. But the other disadvantage, I don't really see one. The one last advantage that I do have, though, is it eliminates that console war crap. You have all of the consoles. Each one of them has a draw. Each one of them has something that's wrong with it. But there is no individual console for me that says this is the one. This is the one that you have to get. And I think it's a matter of being able to use all the consoles to make that judgment call on your own, versus owning one of them and saying it's the best. There you go.
All right, Guardian Outpost.
I mirror. Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure and an honor. I mirror what Rage and what Berg says. Really, a lot what Angry Iceberg says. I mirror a lot what he says. What I'll add to it as a streamer, as a content creator, content is king, man. Content is king. You always gotta have stuff to have on. As a variety streamer, you gotta have both consoles, even have a PC. I play as for Destiny, and I mirror what one of the person in the chat room, Tegan, says. Xbox One, to me, I was playing Destiny on Xbox One for a full year. I just got a PlayStation 4 in November, and I've met so many new people. And a lot of people that I do have that come to my streams are Europeans, from the UK, from Germany, from Spain. All these people that say that, hey, I play on PlayStation 4, would love to play with you. PlayStation 4, would love to play with you. Now I've expanded my role into Destiny PlayStation 4. Plus, I've gotten to meet all these big-time streamers that are on there as well. The big streamers tend to stream Destiny on PlayStation 4. They see me now on PlayStation 4. I've been rated by them. They've come into my stream. They've added me on the friends list. I'm now going to get a chance to play with them. But to me, having both consoles as a streamer is very important. I think it is, because the more content, the better, man. The more stuff you have to play, the more things you have to do, the better. You get 3 characters on Xbox. I had 3 characters on Xbox One, almost fully maxed out, everything completely done. I was getting to the point where I was like, man, what else can I do? What else can I do? And boom, luckily, I was blessed and I got a PlayStation 4, and now I have a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to play. I can play the game all over again. Played it from the beginning, it was really fantastic. Now on the other side, I mean, if you want to take it out away from streaming, if you're not a streamer like us, there is really no point in having 2 consoles. There really is 0 point. Have one console, stick with it. Those that play Destiny and Xbox One only and don't play it on PlayStation 4, the exclusives aren't really that much of a big deal. No. They really aren't that much better than what you got on Xbox One. So when you're not a streamer, one console you're fine, but as a streamer, very important, try to have both consoles. I know, like Monster said, money's a big deal. Both consoles are very expensive. I know they've dropped the price, but still, dropping the price from $400 to $300 is still, $300 is still a lot of money. You're not going to find that in your couch cushions. But for me, it's become very important to me to have both consoles, especially now on PlayStation 4. I've been able to meet so many new people, and yeah, my audience has changed from day to day. I'm doing the same thing that Angry does. I have 4 days where I'm on Xbox One, 3 days where I'm on PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, and when I'm on one console, I got a different. Depending on what console I'm on, I got a different audience. You'll have your core guys, your core regulars that are there all the time, but then you'll get different people. They'll be like, "Oh, you're on the PlayStation today. Cool, I'm gonna hang out. Oh, you're on the Xbox today. Boo, I'm leaving." So that tends to happen, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine, and it comes with the territory.
Right. I don't support the idea of console wars, because we're coming into that generation where a lot of the consoles are pretty much the same. Now this does kind of exclude Wii or the Wii U, because Nintendo's going for more of a nostalgia feel, bringing in Mario Maker, bringing in so many nostalgic titles for updates and whatnot. That seems to be their trend right now. And people love that. People love Mario Maker. People love, Mario Kart 8. People love Super Smash Brothers. Just having a ball with it, and that's the route that they're going. And I give them nothing but praise for that. But as a streamer, you do want to have multiple consoles to kind of spread yourself and give yourself a bigger footprint on Twitch. I'd say the only downside is the fact that, say you are streaming on the PS4 for a full year and you built a PS4 driven fan base, depending on what games you play. Then you switch over to Xbox, your PS4 crowd might not transition with you as well. Say if
you hit me what I have, man. Just the opposite. I played Xbox One for a full year, and then I got a PlayStation 4, and a lot of the Xbox One folks were like, "What are you doing? You're leaving us. You're abandoning us." I'm like, no, I'm not abandoning you guys. I'm still going to play on Xbox One. I'm just going to play on PlayStation 4 a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can split your time between the consoles. 3 is much harder to do than 2. I know Monsterousrage streams on all 3 platforms, and it kind of thins out your time because you're always having to play something new. At least not from day to day, from at least week to week. So that can kind of get a little ADHD for followers and whatnot, who they might love Splatoon, but then the next day you're playing Bloodborne.
Yeah, screw Splatoon. Bloodborne.
And they're like, whoa, what is this guy doing? Never mind. So, it does come with advantages. Like Guardian Outpost said, if you guys are not Twitch streaming, one console is plenty. Unless the Wii U, I would say if you want your nostalgic Nintendo, go ahead and grab that as well. But yeah, as between Xbox and PS4, one console is plenty. The exclusives aren't really enough to have you want to jump out and get the other console just for that one game, except for maybe No Man's Sky. But yeah, I totally agree with everything you guys said. And we will go to the next topic. And the next topic has been floating around for a few days now. Wanted to go ahead and add it into the podcast, is Activision purchasing Major League Gaming. And what does this mean for the gaming community as a whole? Do you see a shift in possible esports, or do you see a shift in developers developing their own esports, and what that could what effect that could have on the gaming community in general? We'll start once again with Iceberg.
Well, I think you have to look at what direction are they going to take it. Are they going to, block out other developers from joining MLG, which I don't think they would, but you never know. If they have control over it, they may say, well, MLG is now our brand and it's for our games. So it really remains to be seen on what direction they take for it. Whether other companies create their own brand in the esport arena, maybe. And again, it really just depends on what Activision does, because, obviously, if there's other competitive games, and developers out there, that they're going to want to, move in that direction so that they can compete with Major League Gaming. But we all know Major League Gaming as the, prominent brand in esports, especially for, the first-person shooter genre. It's been the one that, that led the way with, of course, the Halo 2 days and on up to current Call of Duty and whatnot. So, and obviously it makes sense for Activision to purchase it with, with the Call of Duty franchises and whatnot, have a lot more control over that. And as far as, from my perspective as a Destiny streamer, I'm really curious to see how it affects Destiny and, how they develop Destiny, and that they become, try to push Destiny into the competitive realm, which obviously would bring big changes to how PvP is handled in Destiny. So I'm really kind of curious in that. As a Twitch streamer, I'm really kind of curious to see if they do move Destiny towards more competitive PvP, how that affects, what streamers make it to the top of the directory, and as I'm not a competitive PvP player. Everybody who watches knows that I'm not. I hold my own, but I'm definitely not one that's going to carry you to the lighthouse. I generally say that I need to be the one carried, but it's going to be interesting to see how that really affects everything. There's so many different angles to come at this with, but it still all remains to be seen on how Activision really handles the situation from their end.
Yeah. Rage?
Well, everything that you said, Angry, I agree with. The only thing that I wanted to add to it was the fact that I don't think Activision will black out any other games. I think that they're going to take a chunk of that money. So now it's looked upon that they don't have rights to these games, but they're still making money off of them. So that's just going to be something that's going to be included with their moving forward. As for their content, I'm sure they're going to push it over everything else. They're going to make it their brand. But I don't think, games like Halo and that sort of thing are going to be pushed away. It's just making too much money to do that. So, I mean, everything that you've already said, sir, that's what I was going to say. So that's the only thing I've to add to that. But yeah, MLG with Activision, I don't see it as a bad thing. I just see it as a branching out, making things bigger for gamers out there, for streamers, for anybody that is a pro with that controller and wants to make a little money with that game like Destiny that could be part of it. So
I like to add on what Iceberg said about the competitive aspect of Destiny. That will kind of affect me as well because I'm not a PvPer either. I'm kind of similar to Iceberg. We run raids, we do lots of PvE. We hold our own on PvP. I hold my own on PvP. I have fun with Iron Banner. I'm the guy that gets carried to the lighthouse. I don't carry anybody to the lighthouse. So I want to see what they do with that. Everything else, I'm kind of just like wait and see. I never overreact, knee jerk to anything. People like to knee jerk. Oh, Activision bought this. Goodbye, other games. So people kind of like to freak out, and that's kind of what people do. I just want to see what they do with Destiny. If they do make it, competitive PvP, this MLG PvP, then that's something like, wow, it's guys like Angry and I are going to struggle because we're going to be not as high up because we're not MLG PvPers. We're just guys that like to hang out. We like to have fun. We like to joke around with our chats. We like to do PvE, raids, and those kind of things. And then people will be like, oh, you're not a PvPer? Forget it. We're out of here. Everybody goes to other guys. And I know plenty of guys that will love this. Guys like my guy Ignite. That guy will go straight up to the charts because he's a great PvPer. So that's really where I'm looking when I'm pouring at my attention. And when Monsterousrage says, yeah, man, there's just too much money out there to block out other games. They're not going to block out other games at all. I'm just more interested in see what happens with Destiny because a lot of people have been calling, been wanting, private matches on Destiny. We want this on Destiny for PvP and this and that. So that's really where I'm gonna have my eye on. Not that it should matter because I think guys like Angry and I could still grow on our own without having to be super strong PvP players. But it will make scaling that mountain a little tougher.
Well, and let me add to this too. That it could actually. I was thinking about it could actually go the other way too. We really don't know. When I say it could go the other way, is that Guardian Outpost and I are both at very similar levels in the Destiny Twitch community. We pull in right about the same amount of viewers each day. We have about this pretty similar audiences. A lot of our audiences intermix. So we're very, very similar. We provide very similar content. And that's kind of the direction that both of us have gone. But we're also, the one nice thing about it is that we're also somewhat established now in the community. And so this could actually, at the same point, it could hurt us, but it also could be a huge help because the more attention that Destiny gets as a game, if it brings more people in, it's still going to bring the people that come in. It's like they want to be that PvP player, but then they realize, well, that's not really what I am. I just want to play. Then they could be attracted to Guardian Outpost and myself as Destiny streamers as well. So it's really going to be interesting to see how it affects things, or if it really affects things at all. We don't even know if they are going to be doing competitive PvP PvP. There's been a lot of outcry, in the Destiny community for customizable private matches, which I think Bungie definitely has to listen to, and if Activision forces them to listen to it, obviously they will. So it's really going to be interesting. It could, like I said, we may not end up being the top Destiny streamers, but again, at the same time, that influx of new people to the game and new attention to the game could provide us enough to at least achieve partnership. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's really an exciting time to be a Destiny streamer, but also as a non-competitive Destiny streamer, it does make you a little nervous.
Yeah. So again, just wait and see, man. We can't just knee jerk on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just wait and see.
Now, as far as Activision itself, I'm going to get away from Destiny for a moment. As far as Activision itself, I feel that this might be a play because of Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare's lack of sales. I think that their declining sales have kind of brought them to go ahead and buy MLG to kind of promote their product in a stronger light. Destiny as well. Destiny is kind of in a lull right now. We've already talked about this a little bit. And it might be the fact that they're going to have an Activision kind of tournament where these few games, first-person shooters or whatnot, you can go into a tournament mode and put your skills up against the best in the country or whatnot. I think it's a great move by Activision. I think that maybe some other publishers like EA's Madden, possibly 343's Halo 5, I think they might be pushed aside somewhat, but they're not going to be getting rid of because they do want to make the money off of it. I just think that Activision is probably going to use it more as a promotional tool for their own product rather than running it as an esport. And that's the only real concern that I have with this.
Well, I can see them definitely pushing their product, definitely pushing their product for that. And it'd be a vehicle for, making Call of Duty more appealing again. But I don't think that they're dumb enough to realize, they already know that MLG is the number one name in esports. But so I don't think that they're that stupid to be like, no, we're not going to allow any other publishers' games into it, especially if that's the predominantly, most attractive game, whether they start up, do more with MOBAs or what have you. But, I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. And they, the last thing they want to do is ruin the MLG name by making it the MLG Activision. It's right. I'm hoping that they'll kind of leave it be its own entity, but just reap the rewards, basically the cash flow from it.
This Halo tournament brought to you by Call of Duty.
Right. Now that leads perfectly into my next segment, and it is once again about Activision. They're making the news twice on this podcast. Is Activision associated with or purchasing too many properties? I kind of ran down a list. Some of the bigger names that caught to mind: Blizzard has partnered with Activision. MLG is now obviously purchased by Activision. You also have Bungie. And you also have Neversoft. Back in the day with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, it was Neversoft and Activision. Do you think Activision kind of has their hands in too many cookie jars when it comes to gaming? EA doesn't tend to do this per se unless it's sports related. They have the Madden, the FIFA, I believe they might still have NBA. I'm not sure. I believe 2K got that. But do you think they possibly have their hands in too many places in gaming? We'll start with Rage this time.
I think if they're going to go for world domination, they're starting. No, I don't think they have their... If they've got the money and they can throw the money at these different companies and we can get better products because of it, I'm not going to complain. I'm just not. If it comes to a point where it becomes a monopoly, that's where it gets dangerous. But I don't see that happening either. There's too many companies out there competing. They're always going to have competition, and the big ones that are competing against them are never going to sell. So if they want to buy more property, more power to them. Go for it. Go for it. Buy more stuff. Get better games for us.
Yeah. Outpost?
I think I'm going to use the Madden example. When EA bought the NFL rights and became the only the only company to make NFL games. Madden suffered, man. I used to be a big Madden player back in the day, and Madden has not been the same. Back when 2K used to make football games, 2K was making amazing football games. Madden was competing with them as well. You had two great football games now, and hopefully Activision doesn't get. I mean, if Activision just keeps buying stuff and every FPS is coming from Activision, what's the motivation for them to make a good FPS? Any FPS you buy, it's going into our pocket, man. Doesn't matter. You don't like this one? Oh, well, here's another one. You don't like that one? Oh, well, here's another one. You don't like that one? Well, get the hell out of here because you're not playing anything. So, I just hope that they don't do that. Like, so the Madden example is perfect to me. Madden has not been a good game. It's basically, you're just updating rosters every year when you buy the new game, man. You're paying $60 to update a roster. So hopefully it doesn't go like that, and I hope Activision gets stopped somehow.
Okay. Iceberg?
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a business that's trying to do good by its shareholders, and I think you still have other companies like EA that are big enough to compete with them at this point. And as long as a gamer, as long as we're getting quality games, it doesn't really matter to me. But Guardian Outpost is a great point about the Madden thing. That no competition, just provides for poor product. And hopefully it doesn't come to that, but I'm not sure if it really will. Maybe it'll bring out some more innovation by another company to compete with Activision, on a smaller scale. So, I mean, we'll have to wait to see. I mean, they could be shooting themselves in the foot, or they could be doing us a huge favor at the same time.
Right. Now, whenever I think about Activision, I do have a bitter taste in my mouth with them. They released Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, which is the most flop skating game of all time.
It's so good.
Oh no, it's not. No, just no. I'll stop my speech by just saying no. Activision has been blamed for Bungie not releasing the full Destiny experience for year one like it was intended. We don't know. We're not industry inside. So we don't have that kind of informational access. But when I see Activision, I see them kind of being Donald Trump of the gaming world right now. Where, okay, I've got real estate in first-person shooters. I've got real estate in MMOs with World of Warcraft and Destiny. And they're just trying to stake their claim in every single genre and just spread out as much as possible. Now, with buying MLG, you've got Counter-Strike, you've got your Black Ops, you've got, what else? What else is MLG now? Halo. You've got a bevy of titles that's MLG, and now Activision has their finger in that too. I think it might be a ploy, like I had said earlier, because of their declining sales. They need to raise up some capital, or possibly just kind of bump up their numbers for investors or whatnot. But, I mean, only time can tell what they're going to do. As far as the first-person monopoly goes, I don't think we're going to see that for a long time if it ever does happen, because there's always going to be that one company, say Unreal Tournament, say Counter-Strike, that's always going to rival one of the FPSs. We're seeing that in The Division, that's supposed to be rivaling Destiny. We see that in, let's see, what else? Call of Duty. We see, Medal of Honor, even though Medal of Honor is not. Siege has MLG? I don't know. I don't know if Siege has MLG yet. But I like the fact that they're doing this, but they need to create quality content along with it. If the quality falls off, like with Madden, what Guardian Outpost said, then it's going to hurt gamers in the end. So I'm just hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping they still pump out some decent quality product that we can all love and enjoy. That brings us to a completely new topic, which is Netflix. Now, we have never covered Netflix on the podcast before, but
we're about to Netflix and chill, y'all.
We are about to Netflix and chill. No. Yeah. Okay, anyway. before? Netflix had reported that they had set it up so where you could click on Netflix and click on a video for an early New Year's Eve countdown for your children. Now, what this has done is say, it's 10:45 in the evening. You want to enjoy a few adult cocktails and whatnot with some friends, and you want your children to go to bed a little bit early. You could actually play this video clip and the countdown begins, and you could go Happy New Year's at 11:15 and get their butts at bed. How do you guys feel about this? I've never really heard of anything like this except for maybe VCR tapes back in the 90s. We'll start with Guardian Outpost this time.
I love it, man. I got a 1.5-year-old baby right now, and I hope they do this every single year because, right now she's only, she's very young, so she passed out around 11 o'clock anyway. But man, when she's like 3 or 4 and she wants to be up for midnight, I'd be like, yeah, let's go to your room, we're gonna do midnight together. And then boom, I just pop on that Netflix at 8:45 and bam, midnight, good night, go to bed, and it's great. So as a father of one daughter and planning on having other kids, perfect. I am not listen, I'm not for deceiving your children all the time. I'm going to be very honest with
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. I'm going to be very honest with my daughter, once she gets older and she asks questions, as honest as I can be, of course. But this is not too bad. Come on. We want to put the kid to bed and party a little bit with our friends, and there's no harm in that. I think it's genius, and I hope Netflix does it every single year.
All right, Iceberg.
Man, for my daughters, of course, I have a 1.5-year-old as well. She care less. She just goes to bed on her own time. My 6-year-old, she generally just kind of passes out whenever too. She has her bedtime during the week, but she hasn't cared that much about staying up till midnight for New Year's Eve or anything. So I think for me, the best thing for me is just to send them to a one of their own New Year's Eve parties, and then the adults can have their fun and not have to worry about putting it on Netflix. So,
all right, Rage.
Freaking give him a little whiskey. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was in there for. It's so that parents have some time on their own for New Year's without their kids being there. And there's no other reason Netflix did it. They're not doing it to get kids to go to bed early because that's the good thing to do. They're doing it because they know the adults are like, we need to get our drink on.
I think
that thing is still up.
I think in a minimal way that Netflix just found a way to rickroll children. Because that's exactly what happened. You thought, you're getting this midnight experience, and what you got was 10:45, trying to go to sleep with adults hooping and hollering in the other room.
I have only one daughter. I have a buddy who has 4 kids, 4 boys, and whenever I invite him to a party or anything, he's like, is there gonna be other kids there? And I'll be like, no, there's not gonna be other kids there. Then I can't go. Then I can't go. But I feel like, if you're at a party with 7 or 8 other kids, stick them in a room, have a console in there, a PlayStation or an Xbox One with a TV, and let them have their fun, man. But
if you do that, make sure that if there's 6 kids there, you only have 5 controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Battle Royale for that 5th controller.
I do see the necessity for parents that just need that adult party or adult interaction time, especially parents or single parents of one or more children. They just kind of need that time, maybe with their friends and whatnot. Maybe not to drink adult beverages and whatnot, just sit around, talk, eat some chips, celebrate the new year in style. I can definitely agree with that. I think Netflix gets a gold star from me for doing it, and I expect to actually see this from here out from Netflix, Hulu, whatever other video streaming service you guys use. Maybe even YouTube will do something like that, where they have like a YouTube year-end video that you guys can click on and go through it that way. I'm a full supporter of it. I like the idea.
Although, man, you know what? I'm screwed because my daughter, even though at 1.5, she already knows how to use the iPhone, so she's gonna know. Hey, wait a minute. My 3 years old. Wait a minute. It says here 8:45, Dad. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, you're done D. You're done D after the age of 4 when they can start telling time.
I don't know if Angry, if your daughter's the same way. Your youngest daughter's the same way. Man, they know how to use my iPad and my iPhone already almost as good as I do. They already know how to, they know how to unlock it. They know which apps to go to. They know what videos to pick. I'm like, what are you doing? You're only one.
Well, I do know she knows how to like delete my apps. I've learned
that. Ouch.
Yeah, she moved my telephone app to like the 4th page. I'm like, how do I make a call now? Like, I have no telephone app.
Siri, help. But our next topic tonight is something that is Destiny, but it's new Destiny. And what I mean by that is playing Destiny for so long on a certain console and then getting a second console and going through the experience again, but with TTK. Now, it's actually very different from when I played vanilla Destiny before TTK. Now, after the update, they have added a few things during the vanilla game that kind of distinguish it from the original. Now, Guardian Outpost had a similar experience. He got his PlayStation 4 and went through the story mode with TTK. So this is basically just going to be me and Guardian Outpost, but Angry Iceberg and Rage can talk about this as well.
You guys get out of here. We're done with you.
About basically a new Destiny experience when you start from level 1 all the way going through 40. Monsterousrage, turn your chair around. And what that felt like and how you guys compare it. So we will start with Outpost.
I thought it was great, man. Playing it from the beginning again was real cool, and then hearing all the old lines being said by Nolan North instead of Dinklebot was very interesting. And the way they streamlined everything was great. You know, I did all the Fallen missions, then I did all the Hive missions, then I did all the Vex missions, and you know, and I was able to level up pretty quickly. So you know, I had a lot of fun with that. That's basically what I liked about TTK a lot. They streamlined stuff. They gave you more stuff to do. They gave you these little things to do. What I didn't like is they kind of backdoored more grinding on us. They said, hey, no more grinding, less this, less that. And then, and then you get your sword. Oh, yeah, you got to get all these Hadium flakes. You got to get all these things. Oh, for a touch of malice, you got to go all over. It's like they backdoored all this grinding on us while they're saying no grinding. And behind, you see people carrying farming tools behind them while they're doing all that stuff. That's kind of the only thing I want to say about Taken King. But I loved it, man. Going from PlayStation, going from Xbox to PlayStation and playing the story mode was a lot of fun. And I kind of did it too fast. I should slow down.
Man, I'm gonna get a screen crapper. You just saying backdoor grinding a lot.
Grinding.
So Angry Iceberg, do you have any comments on this, man?
Well, I think what they did, I mean, if you're looking at somebody that started, day one, it was a nice change, it was a refreshing change. It did, like Guardian Outpost said, it did streamline a lot of things, make things a lot, it did change things in a refreshing way, okay? But I was always like, when it first released, I said it then, and I say it again, I was really jealous of somebody who was picking it up in year 2. Because, and it depends on how you play it, too. Because, like I said, today I was helping out my friend Noir Raven, who just picked up a PS4, and she's working on, building up her characters there so she can also play on the PS4 like Guardian Outpost and myself do. So she's also another streamer. But I'm jealous of those year 2 players because they do have so much more to experience than we did in year 1. I mean, if you're talking about vanilla Destiny prior to the Crota's End content, the Dark Below content, there wasn't a whole lot to do overall. I mean, you were still chasing that, forever, you had that forever 29, still trying to chase 30, and there was so much grinding. I remember spending hours just doing loops on the moon trying to pick up helium filaments, and so I'm really, and the thing about it, here's the thing about the new Destiny Taken King. The only people that really complain about the content are the people that are year 1 players who just charged right through it. There is so much there to do that for the casual Destiny player, they can play it for the whole year and not get through everything. But for people like myself and, you know, Guardian Outpost and people that are playing it all the time, we're getting through this content so fast, you know, because we're trying to rush to the end game content. We're trying to get all this stuff because we're collectors and we're fanatics and we're idiots and just crazy people. You know, it does kind of ruin the experience a little bit. And you talk about grinding. Last night is when I finally started working on my my exotic sword content. That grinding just mind numbing. You're just looking, you know, constantly looking for the stupid little material that you need to do the thing. Oh man, and it is pretty bad. But again, I did plenty of that on my own in year one. So I think it's the Taken King did definitely bring some really great changes. However, there's certain things going on right now with, like, we don't know what's coming next. We have no idea. Bungie said there's stuff coming. There's some great stuff that we have seen with the Sparrow Racing League. That was a great addition. But of course, it's gone now. We still have Iron Banner. We have the, you know, Trials of Osiris. There's still plenty of stuff to do. But you know, not knowing what's coming next leads to less anticipation for the future, which is the only thing that bothers me. I know there's stuff coming, but I'd really like to know what it is, or at least have some idea. So hopefully later this month, Bungie will kind of come out. They've said they've got stuff in the works, and we'll hear about it hopefully by the end of the month. So I'm still biding my time. But yeah, right now, like today when I got online, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? Or yesterday. It was yesterday when I got online. I was like, what the hell am I going to do? You know, because I was normally an Xbox day. I've already done all my shit on the Xbox. But it's an Xbox day. What am I going to do? So I went over to the PS4. I was like, oh, let's just go play on the PS4. So,
to add what Iceberg is saying, all the people that picked up Destiny in year 2 and get to do the year 1 stuff, you know, more streamlined. Also, it's a lot of the stuff's not broken like it was for us, man. Year 1 was so broken. I mean, and then you had your loot cave, you had your Atheon, you pushed them off. You had Templar, you pushed them off. Yeah. You had so many things that were just broken in year 1, and I'm one of those people that I fully believe that year 1 was a beta, man. We participated in probably one of the greatest betas ever. But I mean, obviously, there's still stuff that's broken in the game, PvP. But you know, there's still not as much. And then not only that, you get to run into people that have already done all that year 1 stuff, so it's a little less frustrating. Be like, you know. You could do a vault of glass in about half an hour instead of 6 hours. How we did it. You could do a Crota's in about 45 minutes instead of 5 hours like we did. You could do a Skola's run and beat Skola's in about 30 minutes instead of 6 hours like the rest of us think. The only thing that I think people that picked up year 2, they'll never get to experience Fatebringer. They'll never get to experience Galahorn. They'll never get to experience, primary weapons with elemental damage on it. But it is still a good time to pick up the game if you haven't played it.
Anything to add, Rage?
Yeah, as a casual gamer, I will say this. Destiny, if you haven't tried it, is worth picking up. I did play Year 1, Day 1 edition. And I went through the whole story before the DLC started coming out. But once I got through the story, as a person that just bounces around from game to game, I was done with it for that time. I waited until a lot of the DLC had already been released, almost to the point where the Taken King was bringing out that package. And then I just got all the DLC and started playing Destiny again. And I will say that the DLC does add something to a casual gamer. There is a lot of extra content in story, and I had a lot of fun going through it. Now, I don't do the raids, I don't do any of that stuff, I never have. I'm trying to get into it, but as a storyline, it was a lot of fun and definitely worth a playthrough.
Yeah, 30 and Still Gaming in the chat said that changes in TTK made the original story look bad. And that's pretty much true, because the original vanilla story, to say that there was potholes is an understatement. Of course, the game was broken. The story was just so segmented. It looked like you were playing Hollywood Squares. I feel that TTK not only revived new content, also new raid, of course, and new events, but also kind of breathe a little life into it for the new people getting the game. I'm going through some new characters right now on Xbox. I had a fun time going through my Titan. I'm going to be doing the same with my Warlock and Hunter, obviously. But I thought it was actually quite good. Now, I did play the PlayStation vanilla, which was pretty bad. I really didn't even pay attention to the story because I didn't even know there was one, really. I actually enjoy the TTK story now, playing through it. Playing through my Titan, I actually enjoy what I did. You know, I feel like there was something behind the Guardian, a driving force to kind of get there and get the job done. I'm hoping that they bring SRL back. Now, as far as PvP goes, Guardian Outpost, Bungie did say that they do like the revolving doors of this weapon's good, now this weapon's good, now this weapon sucks, now this weapon sucks. They do like that in order for you to change your weapons in PvP, so it's not
people something to talk about, man. You're always talking about the game, you know?
Yeah, and I another Destiny topic. I fully believe that we will not see a year 2 Gjallarhorn, because Gjallarhorn was big for year 1, but they don't want that weapon superiority in PvE. Now, they might transfer Gjallarhorn to year 2, but I don't think it's going to be the Gjallarhorn. I think it's going to be a Gjallarhorn that you can use, but it's not going to be on an epic scale that it once was. Like I said, it breathes new light into the game. I love TTK now. I play it offline or off stream with a lot of my friends. Got to play with Lono just this morning, so I thought that was great. So that will actually bring us to our next topic, which is let's see, consoles being more like PCs. Now, with the digital age of digital downloading games, and, you know, having to be online to even play most single-player games now, you have to have an internet connection to play those. Do you see more advantages or disadvantages going into an online marketplace as opposed to, you know, the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, where it was primarily a disc-based marketplace where you bought your disc and your disc was it? We'll start with Iceberg.
Well, I mean, personally, I generally don't purchase games on disc anymore. I used to, but now I prefer to purchase my stuff digitally. I only have a handful of disc-based games now. I definitely think that we're headed towards that as our future, as more and more people go online. But I think we're a ways away from that yet, because there's going to be a lot of people that will, you know, not be able to participate in that, being, you know, having lower quality connections and not being able to get online. So I think by next generation there will be options to just have, you know, digital only hard drives, you know, where they don't have to deal with disk drives. So there might be like price point issues there and stuff like that. Maybe add-ons where you have disc and you can purchase discs. But for me personally, I like having mine. I can just go into my library, click on a game, and it's there. I don't have to go find the game, you know, maybe lose it, whatever, put it in there. But again, on the other side, there's going to be people like, I believe Monsterousrage is one of these people that likes to collect the physical copies, likes to have the actual boxes in their hands. And, you know, yeah, they want the stuff. Exactly. They want the clutter. I don't like the clutter, man. I'd rather just like it all be in one place, like an easy access. You know, I play video games, not to put it on a shelf, but to play it. You know, except for all the games that I purchased, and I only played Destiny, so that's maybe a bad example. But, but it's there.
It's on a digital shelf.
It's my digital shelf, man. It's there if I want it. You know, I can go and re-download something if I want to grab it later. Just like, you know, you purchase the Xbox Live Games with Gold or the PlayStation Network games that, you know, you get free each month. You can always just like go to the website. Okay, I buy it there, or whatever, for free, and then it's always there if you want to download it later. You know, but you're not taking up any physical space. So I think that we're heading to a digital future. How, you know, if it's going to be next generation, it could be, but it could be the generation after that. But I think there's always going to be a place for physical media in some form. just because of the people that want to collect. And I mean, what's going to be in the packing? What's going to be in the boxes for your collector's edition? So you're going to buy a collector's edition, and it's just going to be a code. I guess that I just answered my question. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. You guys go ahead.
I'm on the fence on this. I really like downloading games. Evil Oro, I miss your face too, bro. I really like downloading games. I think it's really good. I've downloaded a few games, and just like Angry says, it's really easy to kind of just hit that home button, go to your arcade, go to your thing, and to your list and get the game. But I'm also a guy that likes discs, because what happens when I stop playing that game, man? I like going to my GameStop, even though I paid $60 for it. I still like to get $15 back towards something else, or an accessory, or something I might need. With a digital download, it's there, it's stuck there, it can't do anything. What if I never play it again? I can't take it back, get anything back for it. It's like, I guess I'm old school in that way, that I still kind of wanted it. In fact, both my Destiny games on PlayStation and on Xbox One are physical copies, but I do have a lot of digital downloaded games. But see, that's where I'm at. I'm on the fence. I still get a lot of people telling me that their games don't work when they download it properly. Sometimes it doesn't download properly. Sometimes it doesn't load. Sometimes it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that. And I'm like, listen, I got a disc. I ain't got no problem. Boom, dust it out, just put it right in. You know what I mean? And it's working. But that I am clearly right on the fence. On this. Until they tell me something like, oh, you downloaded this game. Maybe Xbox, you're like, you haven't played this game in 6 months. Would you like to, I don't know, use it to buy another game? Kind of like we're going to do with GameStop games. Then I'll go fully digital. But for now, let me hold on to my disc. I could probably return it and get me something good. Give me something else.
All right, Rage?
Like Ingrid said, I like stuff. If I have to get it digitally, I'll get it digitally. And if the market is going that way, then I'm going to be forced to go that way. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get an awesome looking hard drive. Let me tell you. It's going to look shiny. It's going to have all this design pattern on it. It's not going to be a run-of-the-mill, just small little tiny box. It's going to look fantastic. But yes, I like physical copies of stuff. If I can purchase it, it's going to be in my collection of stuff in here. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to show this room, but some of you have seen what's in here, and I'm a collector. Mm-hmm. So if it goes digital, that's fine. It just means I'm going to have to purchase a lot of hard drives. That's all that it means.
Right. Now, when it comes to this debate, I'm on the fence just like Guardian Outpost. Some games I do get digitally, some games I have the box for. Games like Fallout 4, premier titles, I'll get the box for, because, it's just something nice to see on the wall. I see Fallout 4 right there. Makes me smile from time to time. But then again, games like, Minecraft, games like, Ori and the Blind Forest, and games like that, I love the digital downloads. It's a quick download. You can kind of get that done really, really fast and, just jump into the game. Now, where this comes to a concern with me, and I believe you guys kind of touched on this a little bit, is the fact that GameStop is hurting from this. Now, I don't know what exactly would happen if GameStop or if all game consoles go strictly digital, because GameStop would pretty much cease to exist at this point. They'd have no more games to sell. They might go into merchandise sales or game code sales. Other than that, I don't exactly know what they would do.
They become Radio Shack.
Yeah, they've become the Radio Shack of the gaming world, basically, where you can go get your little, your controllers, your headsets. You can go get your special skins for your controllers or your mics or your cameras and stuff like that. Big Mike in the chat just said GameStop will die out like Blockbuster, and he's probably right if we do go to a digital-only marketplace. Honestly, I see both sides of the debate. I love having this stuff, but I also love the convenience of a digital purchase. Usually games that I would buy digitally is games that I know that I would play and get that money's worth out of, so I would go ahead and negate trading that in. Usually, if I play a game for about 30-40 hours, I I have my money's worth already, so I'm not even looking to return the game at that point. So it just seems like we are in the middle of that transition. I just don't know how far that transition's going to go. Now, eventually, we all know everything's going to be digital. That's just how far along down the road. Are we 10 years from that, or are we 25 years from that?
I think even sooner than that. I don't think we're.
Yeah, I'd say like 3 or 4 years from that.
And I don't feel bad for GameStop because Amazon's gonna take over everything anyway. We're not gonna leave our houses anymore. We're just gonna buy everything on Amazon.
And that's just it. I mean, it's the way that companies run, right? If you don't get ahead with everyone else, you get left behind, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too. That that we honestly, for me, I don't have a GameStop near me. I'd have to drive 90 miles to get the latest one. But I mean, honestly, it's gonna sound like sound like a dick thing to say, but we don't owe anything to GameStop. Okay, it's a company. They're trying to make money. If, like you guys said, if they don't evolve, they're going to go away, and that's their responsibility. It's not the gaming industry's responsibility to keep them in business. Okay,
no.
They are an outlet for a product, and maybe that outlet is actually causing the consumer to be charged higher prices than necessary, because obviously the digital content is costing just as much as the physical content. And why? As well, because it has to stay. I mean, they want to be able to stay competitive with the physical content. Follow what I'm saying? So, and maybe that's actually holding. Maybe GameStop is a detriment to us for new gaming content as far as price wise. Now I do have the only gaming store that I have near me in my hometown is actually more of a retro gaming GameStop. Mm-hmm. So you don't go there to buy new stuff. They have new stuff, but you go there to buy. They have stuff going all the way back to Atari.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all they're gonna just have to evolve. They're gonna have to create their niche, because the future's coming. They have to figure it out. And like I said, I don't really feel like I owe GameStop anything. And like for me, I personally don't like going out into public to buy stuff. It's just my personal thing. I don't like going up to my local Walmart. That's why I send other people there. I prefer not to have to go.
I need TP, go to Walmart.
So that's why I order stuff off of Amazon. But at the same time, if I'm going to order it off of Amazon, I might as well just get it digitally if I can. I want to have the most convenient way to enjoy the content, and for me, digital is the way to go. I have good internet. I got plenty of hard drive space, and it works. It works for me. And again, I don't really need the clutter. And again, at the same time, since I really don't have a GameStop near me, my local game store does take trade-ins, but every time I've ever traded in a game, I always get that anxiety of like, man, I shouldn't have traded that in. Like, what if I want to play it again someday? But it's already gone. It's like, oh, I made a mistake. So the trade-in money has never really been a big thing for me personally.
Angry Iceberg brought up a good point. If a company tells me, listen, we're not making discs anymore, like we're done making discs, everything's digital download, the game's now $40 because we're saving $100 million because we're not making discs anymore. Boom, dude, I've just jumped over the fence. I'm all about the digital download because we know it's like, well, we don't have to make 100 million discs anymore. We just digital download, and now we lowered the price point to $40 because we don't have to compete. We're not going to compete with GameStop anymore. Sorry, GameStop, and just like Angry says, man, we don't owe anything to GameStop, man. There's been plenty of times where I walk in there with a game that literally came out 3 months earlier. I give it to them, $3. $3? What the hell? This game just came out 3 months ago. Fine, I'll take my $3 and I walk out of there all pissed off.
On the flip side of that, you've got, like, if you look at the game marketplace right now, you're paying the exact same price for a physical copy as you are a digital copy. They don't have a difference. So if there is no difference, I'm going to buy a physical copy because I want that, something in my hand to say, okay, this is where that money went to, instead of just this floating digital information.
Yeah.
So that's the difference for me right now. If they lower the price, then I'm the same way. I'm on board, no problems. If you're saving me $40 a game, I'm on board.
Yeah, I see what
still charge $60.
Yeah, I see what's happening now as far as gaming. Look back about 10 years ago to like the Virgin Megastores for music. All your CD shops and all your music shops that you once had. As soon as we got on board with iTunes, those CD shops just died. I kind of see that happening to gaming as well, where we have that digital marketplace. We do have Amazon for game codes. If you want to get game codes, you can do it there. You can even buy the Xbox and the PlayStation gift cards, like the gift codes, so where you could just go ahead and put those in if you want to, or you could just buy it straight off your Xbox or PS4 or Wii U. I think it's becoming way too convenient in order to drive to a GameStop just to purchase a tactile, case and game. Even though some people like Monsterousrage like to do that, you're becoming far and few in between almost, because it is becoming more convenient to go ahead and just digitally buy all your goods and services. So it will head that way. It's just a matter of time. 10 years, yeah, it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that people like Monsterousrage will kind of buck the system a little bit and say, hey, we want our disc. I've always trust disc and whatnot.
You actually opened up a whole new discussion here, though, because people don't buy full albums anymore. I mean, people buy one song, two songs. And if you say they go the way of Virgin Megastores, I used to have places, I don't know, called Specs Music. That used to be the place I used to go to buy my singles and all my CDs and stuff. That opens up a can of worms. Be like, all right, you want to play this game? $15.99. You can play the first 3 levels, and then in 3 months we'll $15.99 for another 3 levels. And
we're getting that with episodic games right now.
I was about to say the same thing. We already kind of have that, so.
And with all the DLC that you can get, it's just like in Destiny. You had to fork over money for TTK, and it brought in and changed the entire game and added so much more.
I feel like with the disc still kind of hanging around, companies are forced to kind of put more stuff in there. Like, all right, we got to put, as much as possible in this disc to, for the $60. Take away that disc. Oh man, take away that disc. Well, you're at our mercy. You gotta buy. Yeah. You gotta buy, 3 hours of a game. You gotta buy a Metal Gear Solid that's only 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that demo that they made everybody pay $30 for.
Oh, I was mad. I was hot.
They hyped it as a full game, and then people paid $30 for it, and it turned out to be a 30-minute mission. If you're that good, for those that were good. So there, we're kind of at their mercy. If it's only downloads, then it's like, all right, you're getting vanilla Destiny. You're getting vanilla Destiny for now, and then you're gonna get this later, and then this later. In fact, you might even get vanilla Destiny even smaller than when it was when it first came out. So that's kind of where I'm like, I hope they hold on to the disc as long as possible.
Well, again, on the same on that same side of the coin is that if they do that, it might allow us to pay less for an experience we don't know if we're gonna like or not. So it'll allow us to kind of a la carte our gaming a little bit. Like, if we like this, then we'll pay more to get more of that experience. So obviously, I think that's a direction that the gaming industry will go in, with when it comes to digital. But hopefully it'll be geared in a way to kind of benefit both worlds, so that, maybe at $15 for the first quarter of the game, we're willing to buy into that. Otherwise, we're not going to pay $60 for a game that we don't know if we really want to play, but we'll pay that $15 to try it out, and maybe. Again, there's a lot of different angles to take us from, but I think, definitely the game is going to go in that direction. But we're still going to see, completed games. I don't think it's all going to be like that.
No, I don't think we're going to go into like an episodic community. I think there's their episodic fan base, but then there's the people that are kind of bucking that system, be like, okay, why are you segmenting my game into 5 parts and charging me $15? That feels a little scummy to me, especially with Final Fantasy VII. Square Enix, I'm watching it.
I think there's always going to be different genres of games. So, there's only going to be new ones that are popping up, subcultures, but as a whole, there's always going to be a variety of stuff to play, and I don't think that's going to ever be a problem.
Right. Well, that will actually conclude the podcast for this evening. Now we're going to go around the room, tell everybody who you are, what you do, where we can find you, and when we can find you. We'll go ahead and start with Iceberg.
All right, I'm Angry Iceberg. You can find me on Twitch every single day playing Destiny, usually in the evenings. I usually start about 6 o'clock Eastern during the week and a little bit earlier during the weekends, right around 2 o'clock Eastern or so on the weekends. You can find me on both the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 consoles. And, you know, I help out people get through the raids. I like to pop that Oryx Cherry, as I like to say. I like to pop that Oryx Cherry, help people get through the raids, you know, and I just do all my content is generally with other, you know, with my viewers. So I hope you stop by and hang out every single day of the week. You can find me at twitch.com/angry_iceberg is where you can follow me on Twitch. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. It's the same name, angry_iceberg on Twitter. Also on Facebook at the Angry Iceberg, not underscore there, just the Angry Iceberg, all one word on Facebook. You can join there. We also have a Major Rager community that you can join. All the information is on my Twitch page and the information panels. Go ahead and click the links and sign up for that. And before I go on, to make sure also that there is a Destiny Streamer Community T-shirt that is being sold. Stop by the stream to get the link for that, or maybe Kadex can put it in the notes on YouTube when this goes up on YouTube. There's only 7 days from me speaking right now. There's only 7 days left to pick up that T-shirt, to order that T-shirt off of Teespring. We've already, you know, and all the proceeds are going to Operation Supply Drop. It's a great T-shirt that was put together by Captain Tawaz, who also does artwork for King Athalion and other top streamers. So make sure you pick up that T-shirt. I'm on the T-shirt. Guardian Outpost is on the T-shirt, and 131 other great streamers are on that T-shirt in the shape of the Destiny logo. Pick it up. It's for charity. It's a great T-shirt. Many colors, many sizes. Go get you 10 of them. That'd be awesome. All right, I'm done.
All right, Rage.
Yeah, I'm a variety broadcaster. Wii U, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, a little bit of PC as well. But if you come to my channel, understand, I am being very mellow here. I'm a little excitable. And I tend to use naughty language. So, if you come on by, be prepared for that. But I am all across the board. I play all types of games. Anything that comes out, I'm probably getting my hands on and streaming. Whether I'm good at them or bad at them, that's for you guys to decide. But come on by. I am at twitch.tv/Monsterousrage. I'm also on Twitter, Monsterousrage Gaming, which would be Monsterousrage G. That's where I am there. And we are also doing a YouTube thing, myself and DeFitster. We are doing Fits of Rage, and it's basically us playing games together. And, well, let's just say I like to tick off friends every once in a while, and that's what it is. It's me just bugging him all stream long. But everything is in my profile at Twitch TV. Find me there. See you guys later.
All right, Guardian Outpost.
Well, I play Destiny every single day, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. I start very early in the morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So before you go to work, before you go to school, before you do whatever you do during the day, come hang out with me. I start at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. I usually go till about 11. Now, I'm actually going to start extending my hours till about noon, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you come to my stream, I play on both PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I love to play with my viewers. Twitch.tv/Guardian Outpost. Twitter as well, Guardian Outpost. I do a podcast, which is coming back next week. I had to kind of go on hiatus. I do a podcast as well. You can find me on iTunes, SoundCloud, Guardian Outpost. So everywhere is Guardian Outpost. If you've ever heard of #SupportSmallerStreams, that's me. I'm that guy that created that hashtag. I put it together. I love supporting smaller streamers such as Kadex, such as Angry Iceberg, such as Monsterousrage, such as you if you're a streamer yourself. You know, there's other great streamers that I saw in here in the chat room as well. Come to my stream. I love to hang out with all you guys. You know, PvE, PvP, raids, anything. I do it all. So I play every single day, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. The weekends I start at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and we just have a lot of fun, man. And that's it. And yeah, I mirror exactly what Angry Iceberg said, man. Get yourself that T-shirt that Captain Tawaz made. I was shocked that my name was on that T-shirt. Really, I was. Somebody sent me a link like, check it out, your name's on the shirt. I'm like, what shirt? I mean, it's there. You gotta find it. It's kind of like Where's Waldo, but I promise
That's
you.
exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. My name is on that T-shirt, so I'm in the process of getting myself three of those bad boys. So yeah, man, twitch.tv/Guardian Outpost, Twitter Guardian Outpost. Follow me on Twitter if you want to get your stream promoted. I retweet everybody that mentions me when their stream is going on. You know, I have a huge community that's growing. We support each other. We support small streamers. We grow together, and that's what I love doing. Yeah, so that's basically it.
And my name is KadexGaming, Twitch stream dedicated to helping you in game and in life. This month I am taking part in a Borderlands 2 One Life charity challenge where we're raising money for some amazing charities. The person who wins the challenge gets to dictate which charity to donate that money to. If I raise $100 in my stream, I will be dyeing my hair pink. So you guys might be able to see that if all goes well. You can find me right here, twitch.tv/KadexGaming. I stream from 4 p.m. Eastern Time to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, except for podcast days where obviously you see me right now. You can also find me on Twitter, twitter.com/KadexGaming. I'd love to thank Angry Iceberg, Monsterousrage, and our special guest of the week, the one, the only Guardian Outpost, the man. When he says #sportsmall streams, he really does. He spends an enormous amount of time both on and off stream doing so. And the guy's just A+ in my book, always has been. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you chat for being pretty lively this evening. I appreciate everybody who came out tonight. And for KadexGaming, this is Kadex, always urging you to keep calm and game on.